Hi everyone, my name is Ruchi Parikh. I was the India National Expert for Web Technologies at World Skills Competition 2019. I'm going to walk you through how student, mentor, expert, or trainer can utilize the insights given in Curentia's competitor performance analysis report during their competition preparation. Have a great session ahead. I'll be in particular walking you through this competitor performance analysis because I feel this makes you more aware of the reality. It makes you, gives you a real picture of where you stand today so that you can take measures to correct it and become better next day. This report talks about three sections in particular. Section 1 talks about the competition, section 2 is the high level analysis, and the third one will be a detailed low level analysis. First section, which is competition overview, why it is important is for a candidate to understand how close the competition was. How, have they missed it just by points, or was it like a marginal difference in the range of the marks that they have scored? And I believe that having access to this information is equally important for a candidate to see where they stand and to make their strategic course corrections. Once they have this information, they can ask themselves these questions as to where did I go wrong, and when they need help they can come back to their experts, their trainers, mentors, and can get into the training plan. But having this information at the first place is the beginning of working onto that direction of course correcting your trajectory. 9.27 lowest, median, and standard deviation. Now, why median and standard deviation are here at the first place is because median gives you the exact, like the precise 50th percentile. So you exactly know there are 50% of participant or which are below this score, and there are 50% of participants which are above this score. So if I take the example of 18 total participation, so 9 candidates will be below this score, and 9 of the candidates will be above, if not 9, so like let's say 8 and 9 will be above and below this score. But having to know this thing is also important, and then taking into account the standard deviation, which tells you, so the larger the number of standard deviation, it tells you that the competition was not close. The smaller the value for the standard deviation, that tells you that how close the competition was. It was a neck to neck competition. Yeah, for now, moving on to the next section, which tells about high level analysis. Okay, so this gives you the total insight as to the measurement score and the judgment score and how have you fared onto it. Let's say if I have this information in front of me, which says, okay, measurement score, the candidate has scored 57.68 percentage out of the measurement score. Now, this is something which is an alarming thing for me. This is an information which is in front of me, but how do I use it is up to me. And I, during the training of my competitor, I had one rule as to you can't go wrong in the measurement. You can't do something which has been asked into the test project and you are not doing it. So if you see such figures, it is an alarming thing, because judgment is again a subjective thing. You uh, the range can vary, but measurement is something which is easily accessible to you. You just can't go wrong into it. So when you have this information, you can sit back, understand, and identify as to why or where did you go wrong, or probably where did you do well. Because in my opinion, I feel it is equally important to know your strengths. Yes, you can work upon your weaknesses, but if you know your strengths, you need to create the environment to allow yourself where you can perform on your strengths as well. Let me move to the next part. So this was the third section that I was talking about, low level analysis. Now let me talk particularly about this table that you can see on the right of your screen, which says WSS section level analysis. For the folks who are not from the World Skills community, WSS stands for World Skills Standard Specification. It is like a standard, a parameter against which you judge a candidate. So these were the 5 WSS section against which we judged, especially for this virtual skills competition. And if you take the example of the first row, let's say, which says that work organization and management. Now the maximum score was 7. The candidate whose sample report we are taking into account right now scored 7. The average score was 4.67, lowest was 1, highest was
7, median is this, and the standard deviation is 1.91. Now, how do you use this information? Yes, you have this information in front of you, but what do you do with this information? So for me, if I have to train a candidate, if I have to talk to my competitor, I will take this information and then I will sit and I will see, okay, so this section in me, it means the first section that we are talking about, row number 1, it tells you that the standard deviation 1.91 out of the maximum score of 7 is a big enough, it is towards the, I would say, a higher range, which means the competition here was not as close. And if you are scoring 7 here, it's a good sign for me, which means if you do well in this section, the rest of the candidates did not do well in this section, and hence your the margin that you create in your marks with the rest of the candidates increases here. Let's say if I take this example of the next row where the communication and interpersonal skills and the standard deviation talks about 1.08, let's say it could have been a zero point 0.8, then it would have been a cause of worry for me that, you know, the standard deviation is so close, the candidate is not doing well. So if you are missing in this aspect, which clearly means that in order to create the range, uh, by range I mean that if you want to score more, if you want to do well in the competition, you should have a strategy in place. You should know your strengths where you can play on, and you should know your weaknesses as well as the competition as well. So if I have to train my candidate, I would tell my candidate to improve, particularly in this section, because this section number 2 is one thing where I feel everybody is doing good. But if my competitor is not doing good here, it automatically brings him behind the race. Now, this information in itself is not sufficient here. What you need is a little more next level information into it, which talks about this part where we see things in the measurement and judgment aspects. Again, for the folks who are not from the world skills community, measurement is something which is objective. Either you get a full marks or you get a zero. There's no scope of conflicting opinions there. Judgment is something which is subjective. It is based out of opinion. It's based out of liking. So now if I see this section number, if I'm looking at the graph number 1, which talks about how you projected yourself out of the competition, if the highest score for every section is being represented by this golden color, your performance is getting represented by this blue graph, and the average score is getting represented by this gray graph. So for the first one, I see, okay, you are there in the highest score, which is a good sign. But now for the second one, where you feel that you are not doing well as compared to the average score as well as the highest score, now this is the part, if you want to analyze deeper, you need to jump onto the next graph, where you see, okay, the next information is how you are doing in this section, particularly for measurement and for judgment. Is this a section where you are failing miserably in measurement? Then it's a cause of worry. You need to work upon it. Is it a section which is more based out of a judgment marks? So you need to understand, okay, judgment mark will always be range into this level. And for most of the candidates, they will have similar score in this range. But one story which I would also like to share with you here is, while training our competitor last year for World Skills Kazan. So let's say when I was training him, we were doing mock test after mock test, selection test after selection test, so many exercise assignment, and I saw that my competitor was stagnant, was stuck at a score, let's say X, and I was unable to identify as to why he can't just there's nothing which is he's doing wrong per se. When I look at his performance, when I look at his work, there's nothing which I can pinpoint as to why he's not jumping and why his score is not going down. It's just stagnant there. And that is when I realized that I need more information. This information which I have in front of me right now is not enough for me to take a decision. I need more information. That's when I dived deep into it, and I kind of picked out those aspects, and I found that there were 25 aspects, measurement aspects, where he was getting a straight zero. And the moment we fixed it, his score drastically improved. So at times when you talk about practice, I say it has to be an intelligent practice. You can't just lose the sight of what the competition is has to offer you and everything, and just focus on practice. Like I said, I am a strong believer of this concept that competition tells you a lot of things. You need to understand them, you need to imbibe them so that you can do better next time. And then that whole thing of feeding back into the training plan comes into the picture. Now moving on to the next section for the this report, that is module level analysis. Module is like a top level category against which you mark the candidate. So the in world skills terminology, if you have to understand, just look at it like a criteria. Then the criteria gets divided into sub criteria, and the sub criteria further gets divided into the aspects. So this is the analysis based on the criteria. Let's say in world skills you have a module with the name, let's say, content management system. So the content management system can be a module here. So this is the analysis which talks about the modules, and this analysis is also equally it is also done in the similar fashion as to world skills standard specification. For example, if I say take the example of the first row, which talks about requirement understanding, the maximum score here of the candidate is 11. The maximum score for the this section particularly is 11. The candidate has scored 7.79, average, lowest, highest, median, and standard deviation. Now, out of the maximum score of 11, the standard deviation 2.69 tells you again that the competition is not that close. You know, all the competitors who participated did not uh, so their data points were not very close. The competition here is not very close. There is a marginal difference between the marks of the candidates. And if in such section my candidate is doing scoring good here, it's a good sign. And how do we govern this good or this bad? Let's say the sections you can see in the green are the sections where you have higher score than the average score of that particular part. And the sections which we call as the bad modules or the weak modules are the ones where you are scoring less than the average score. So that is the like fundamental average score. You have to score better than the average score, and then you need to take into account of the standard deviation as well. And this data, this keeps on changing with every competition. In every competition you will get new insights, because you are competing against the participants also. Their competence level, their skills also kind of plays a role into the level of the competition that comes there. So having that information which was there on the first page, which talks about competition information, is equally important for you to understand this competition and to plan your journey and your training better accordingly. Now, again, on the similar trends of WSS section, I analyzed the modules, and we saw that for, let's say, section number A, he scored 7.3 in the measurement and, let's say, 0.49 into the judgment. For all you know, the judgment in this section could have been only that much. The judgment, the maximum mark for judgment would have been, let's say, 1, and he's scoring 0.49, so which is it's not an alarm that should raise in your head. Yes, you need to improve onto it, but the strategy that should be there in place, which I observed, was you need to bucket your strengths, your weaknesses, and the aspects and this information that you have. You need to see the things which you are really good at. You need to see the things which you are not so good at. And there is a set of things which you are consistently doing good. And for all these three buckets, you need to plot the trends for every competition that you are doing. For the things you are really bad at, you need to understand what can you do better next time. For the things you are really good at, you need to understand, you need to develop the things which allow you to be better in every competition for it. Because if you are not playing on your strengths as well, that is also equally damaging, instead of focusing just on fixing your strengths. And things which you are doing consistently well should come with the practice, because a lot of things do improve with the practice, but again, practice in the backdrop of having this information ready with you. And I'm sure after doing this analysis in your brain, when you go back to your trainers, to your mentors, they'll be really happy to help you to course correct your plans. Now, this was the particular section that I was talking about, where measurement marks equals to maximum mark. In ideal cases, I would like to see all the aspects. Aspect is like the most granular unit on which you can assess a candidate. In ideal scenarios, I would like all the aspects to lie into this table. There should not be any aspect of measurement score which does not lie into this table, because that is a very straightforward thing. Something is written in the test project, you need to do it. Subjectivity, where it comes, I understand. You can't score 100%, but then there has to be a range as well there. And you also need to understand this thing. A lot of things this analysis does is, while giving you the information, it course corrects it helps you clear out the misconceptions that you have, or maybe things that you are lacking and you did not know about it. It helps you understand those things, and once you understand things, it becomes a little easier for you to crack it. Now we are on to the aspect level analysis. For aspect, I particularly looked at the measurement aspects in a different way and the judgment aspects in the different way. So if you see, I'm going back onto the previous slide. If you see the measurement score, it has been bucketed into maximum measurement aspects where you have the score equal to maximum mark, and the aspects where you have maximum marks, score less than maximum marks, because there are some measurement aspects where you kind of deduct points for the errors. So these are the two categories into which you need to look at it. And this particular section that you can see on your screen on the left, on the first table, it's a crime. This is something you have to get right. There should not be any excuse for it. Moving to the judgment section that is there. So in judgment, I hope you all understand that you get marks in the form of a range 0, 1, 2, 3, and there will be a set of 3 experts and judges who will be evaluating you, and they will have different opinion, and they will come to the consensus in order to judge you for these judgment aspects. But again, in order to come to the this is a part where you will always have a range of the marks. You can't get 100% uh, into it. If you are getting 100%, that means you are brilliantly good at, and like I said, then don't lose on to that strength of yours and keep on building that strength. So this is the part which talks about the judgment score, which is less than 33%. So this gives you an idea, okay, some tweaks here and there, and you can probably increase your score. Let's say, for example, if I take the second row of this table, which talks, does the work reflect the understanding of requirement for fundraising campaign section? So this lies into the module of requirement understanding, and you are getting a straight away 0 here, which is like a alarming thing. It should raise an alarm in your head as to so this shows that the candidate is doing bad in the judgment of module requirement understanding. This requirement understanding, let's say, goes back to the WSS section 2 or 1. Hence your automatically score there will be reduced. And if the standard deviation there tells you that the candidates in this aspect, they are doing really good, then you have to improve something here, because the competition, in order to crack a competition, you need to understand that uh, just 1 mark can change the whole game. And point 1 can also make a lot of difference. And when you do well in judgment, even then the increase in your score happens in the point in the decimals. And when you do bad in measurement, the decrease in your score happens in like digits, in 1, 2, 3, and you lose marks like integers, and nothing can stop you from there. So that's one thing which you all really need to understand. And if you see the next section of this report that we have, you see that judgment score greater than 66%, there's no aspect here, which clearly tells you that there is nothing which you are exceptionally good at. There are things which you are doing fairly well, and you actually need to improve a lot onto it. One more thing which is important and that you need to derive out of standard deviations is it tells you how the competition is spread out. When the standard deviations are higher, it tells you that the competition is spread out evenly. And when the standard deviation is really small, it tells you that there has to be a fair difference which needs to be built in terms of competency and in terms of excellency. So when you talk, which means that when I say that competition is really close, that means when you talk about you being the excellent of your domain, there has to be a more objectified difference between your competency and your excellency. It is not coming out really clearly. So this is all information that I had to share with all of you.